Welcome back to the channel Rise. I'm Dr. Priya. You're in the right place. Today we're going to talk about sadness. So many times, despite what we do to avoid it, that cold, achy feeling of sadness persists. And many times in my office, despite being treated with antidepressants, people continue to feel sad. People can go to work, they sleep, they eat, they feel better, but there's this lingering sadness. Today, I want to explore with you the meaning of sadness, the reason for sadness, and ultimately how to deal with it and move through it with grace. So I want to familiarize you with the difference between sadness and depression. Depression is a condition, a medical condition, where our emotional life and our body shuts down. We feel numb. Nothing matters anymore. Often our appetite is down or it's up. Sleep is either up or down, and our energy changes. So there are these aspects that really lead to the condition of depression. What's different in sadness is it's a feeling, it's a needed, required, evolutionarily conserved emotion. Mammals feel sad after loss. They feel sad when they mourn a death. They feel sad when someone they see suffers. It is our human response to suffering in the world. And if we can tolerate it, if we work through it, it leads us to more of an understanding, if you will, our own philosophy of life. So here's the deal. When we take an antidepressant, it is to treat depression. It is not to treat sadness. So often when someone comes to my office and they're able to sleep again, eat again, go to work again, and concentrate, but they feel sad, it's a time where we together figure out what is the meaning of this. And in the office, I'm able to offer support to someone to move through this difficult emotion. So here's the thing. It's important to use an antidepressant appropriately so that you can function again as you need to, and you're able to restore neurotransmitters and brain circuitry, but not to numb oneself to this feeling of sadness. And I'm with you. Nobody wants to feel sad. I mean, it's a very difficult emotion to process, and often we need the right support to do it. What is that right support? Well, you could say there's the right support, there's the wrong support, but I guess the bottom line is support. As human beings, when we're feeling sadness, we need support, whether it's through psychotherapy, whether it's through joining a group, a community group, or a group like Al-Anon, or a group like Alcoholics Anonymous, or a gym, or a 5K. We need people to process who, will take the time and care to help us deal with our emotional burden of sadness. So I do it through psychotherapy, but throughout centuries, millennia, human beings have been doing it in their family, with elders, with their spouses, but sometimes it gets a little bit too enmeshed. So we seek support outside of our family system, and that's okay too. Sometimes our parents are great sources of support and really hold our hands emotionally, physically when we're sad. So the thing is, while you may need a little bit of time alone to kind of lick your wounds and feel what you're feeling, ultimately, there's no shame in getting support. I encourage you to do so. So why go through all of this pain and suffering? What's it worth? What's in it for me at the end of all of this pain? Well, I want to reassure you that there is light at the end of the tunnel. At the end of sadness, we develop the gifts of, number 1, the ability to change, number 2, empathy, number 3, creative depth, number 4, the sense of aliveness and contrast in our life. So sometimes it takes intense sadness and to process it and to feel it before we actually make a change in our life. It could be in relationships, it could be in our job, it could be in our education, but as human beings, sometimes we need a strong motivation to move, to change something. And working through sadness can get us to change how we deal with problems. It can get us to change certain relationship issues. It can get us to change a bad job. So numbing off doesn't work, but actually working through your sadness can help you to rise in your job, help you to rise personally in your development, and also in your education. So the sadness serves a purpose. Also, sadness helps human beings to develop the capacity for empathy. Empathy is a tremendous force that helps us to understand the human condition and offer support to other people who are suffering, or to participate in the joy of other people. Empathy offers us the ability, after we've been through some sadness, to say to someone else when they're going through their dark time, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. I know you'll get through it. Let me give you a hug. I'm so sorry it's hurting so much now. That experience from someone who's been there and processed their sadness is such support. It is so authentic, and it gives the sad person a lot of hope. So that capacity for empathy develops after you've been through something that's hurt and you've survived and made it to the other end. Other thing that sadness gives us is this creative depth. I mean, really, how many songs and works of art have been inspired by the depths of sadness? A lot, if you think about it. And one that's coming to mind right now, it's playing in my head, is Careless Whisper by Wham. Like when George Michael sings, I'm never gonna dance again. I mean, you feel it in your body, the loss, the sadness. And if you've been there through heartbreak, he's there with you. And you process it through that song and you get through it. And it adds depth. It adds nuance to our experience. And you're not alone when you see or hear works of art that reflect sadness. You're not alone. Other thing that sadness can give us is this sense of contrast. I mean, what is happiness if you haven't been sad? It's this perpetual sameness. And that's not exactly feeling alive or being on earth. I mean, of course, we don't want to be ping pong balls all over the place, but, understanding the low, moving through it, feeling the high, gives us this deep appreciation for the rhythm of life, and that there's a lot of contrast in our emotions. And it, again, gives us this depth and also this profound enjoyment of life, ironically. So hang with it. Get the support. It is so worth it to work through your sadness. All right, I know it's inconvenient. Working through sadness doesn't come up at the most opportune times. So be gentle with yourself. You can't rush it. Make sure you have the right support. And I'm telling you, if you're able to identify that you're feeling sad, you will be able to make it through, and if necessary, get the right support to do it. Life is waiting for you on the other side. This video is intended to help you take the plunge, understand your feelings, and work through them. I hope it's given you some hope. And I also hope that you're able to like it and share it and leave some comments and tell me your experiences. Stay tuned for more from the channel Rise. Thank you for watching.